Brothers and sisters, as you know, I am a huge fan and admirer of the Bond flicks, movies, anything really to do with that. I wrote a mini script years ago. It's called Fire and Ice. I'll just read it to you. It is cool. Mission brief. The global threat from out of the scientific community comes eco-terrorists that are attempting to trigger the next ice age to eliminate global warming. Hence the title, Fire and Ice. Project Echo T intends to ignite the natural gas trapped within multiple chains of inactive volcanoes using nuclear-powered incendiary devices throughout the world to bring this into effect. The ash in the air would create a blanket effect, which of course would block out the sun and start the process towards their goal. Cause and effect. This would disrupt communications, space missions, air flights, and create multiple other short and long range effects, such as the inability to grow food. For this mission, James Bond is relegated to take the following forms of transportation: speedboats, cruise ships, trains, buses, cars, taxis, and other vehicles. Now, the mission is simply James must stop Echo T at all costs. James is to work with a team of international scientists and military leaders from all over the globe. Never has the world faced such a threat. Sound familiar? Team Bond: Russia, China, US, Britain, Denmark, Finland, Canada, Australia, France, Ukraine, Poland, Germany. The world events. The following world events would be worked into the production as part of the cause and effect scenario. The tragedy in Poland, where they lost most of their leadership, would be part of the subplot. Echo T foiled the Polish government's attempt to foil their project. That was the reason for it. Now, you use the past, current volcanic activity in the world. Past activity was in Chile, Iceland, Haiti, as the start of Echo T's plot. Now, you pick other mountainous regions throughout the world, such as, China, Switzerland, Australia. Now, of course, the bottom line is that all nations will unite under Bond for this production. Even old enemies set aside their differences and issues for the present to deal with this rogue organization. Now, as you know, the way I've worded it is just a mini script. And it's from the heart because, like I said, I do things that way. I was just moved to create this. The segment released from the script, the scene opens with James sitting next to a beautiful woman, Russian descent, at an undisclosed casino at a poker table. After a brief exchange of flirtatious dialogue, they both agree to step away together to try to improve their luck. As they leave the poker table, Gaga is playing Bad Romance in the background. As the scene unfolds, the scene progresses to the front of the casino. Bond, spotting the gift shop, stops to purchase a bottle of perfume from the House of Gaga. And of course, the product's title is the same as this mini script, Fire and Ice. The slogan. And he did this as a small gift for his mysterious date. The slogan on the bottle reads, "Turn on the fires of passion with the aid of a little bit of ice. Once this is worn, baby, they won't think twice." Bottles manufactured to look like flames, but the contents are blue. Bond and his mysterious lady reach the front of her room. As they enter the dim-lit room, the scene starts to fade to black as Bond kills the lights. You can hear the mystery woman state, "James, if you can keep it up, he could have all of her secrets." The scene switches to Bond entering the reception area at HQ, reporting as ordered, and the usual salutations are traded between Bond and Moneypenny. M demands that Bond report immediately over the PA. Bond complies with a wry wink to Moneypenny and enters the offices of M. James goes into the debriefing pertaining to his current mission. M interjects to point out that Bond sleeping with the Russian president's wife was not her idea of warming up relations between the two countries. And secondly, that if he was caught, it would have jeopardized Britain's reputation and good standing globally. Therefore, to review his conduct, M is asked that her 007 advisory panel deal with Bond directly, forthwith. James is then taken into the adjacent boardroom and is startled to see many of his predecessors sitting along the opposite side of the boardroom table, all facing him with a single chair on the other side for Bond. The chairman of the panel, Sean Connery, asks Bond to be seated and gestures towards the vacant chair. Once Bond, which is the current Bond, Craig, is seated, Connery simply states that it's obvious that no introductions are required since they all know each other, so let's get down to the issues at hand. Moore, Roger, politely interrupts the proceedings for a brief moment to use the intercom and advise M that the deliberations are underway. They would report to her directly once the meeting has concluded in private. M reluctantly agrees. Moore disconnects the intercom, politely thanks the panel and Craig for their patience, and asks Connery, Sean, to kindly resume. Connery then turns to Dalton and asks him to kindly pour their brother, Craig, a martini. The panel has theirs, which they are already savoring. Dalton makes a little quip about not having to ask about how he wants it, since they're all on the same mind of the subject. And everyone in the room chuckles at that quip. In an artistic flourish, Dalton creates the drink, pours and delivers to Craig, and returns to his place. Connery then asks Bronson to read off the subject in question relating to conduct. Bronson, at the conclusion of this, asks Craig what he has to say on the subject. Craig replies that under the blanket of darkness, everything was explored, and that everything being acceptable, he succeeded in gaining vital information pertaining to another matter. Further, that he is moved, truly touched. Truly touched by the concern over his safety, and assures them all that he was in good hands that night. The panel chuckles. I apologize for the cell phone ringing. Some people are ignorant and call at midnight. At this point, Connery then states their findings are: Their findings are that in keeping with their policies, Craig had acted in the best interests of the Crown and country, that no punishment was required. However, Craig is asked to submit a detailed report on this incident along with the vital information gained for the panel to review with M as soon as possible. Craig agrees. Connery then moves to adjourn the meeting, seconded by Moore. All were in favor, so the meeting was adjourned. Moore in the background is seen on the intercom with M, reporting that the meeting was concluded along with the status of Craig. Connery then states to Craig that before he leaves, the panel has a couple of parting gifts for their brother. Connery signals to Bronson and Dalton to deliver the items to Craig. Dalton and Bronson simultaneously present Craig with 2 articles: a box of Lady Gaga monster condoms and a loaded gun. Bronson and Dalton and the rest of the panel smile. Bronson states that the panel is secure in the knowledge that Craig knows how to use these items, or articles, and Craig smiles, thanks them for their thoughtfulness, as he reassures them that these articles would see action. The room chuckles. Wry humor. Craig leaves the room and enters the reception area once more. As he enters, Craig opens the box of condoms and takes a handful and stuffs them into his suit jacket pocket, then places the gun into his empty holster inside his suit jacket. Once Craig reaches the desk of Moneypenny, Craig gives the box of condoms to her. He then sits upon the desk and with a wry smile upon his face asks Moneypenny for her thoughts on their use. Moneypenny blushes, and just when she was about to reply, M on the intercom interjects and directs Bond to make haste and see Q for some updated equipment. James acknowledges and gets up off the desk, waves to Moneypenny goodbye. As he departs the office, Moneypenny quips about how the condoms would be in her possession, waiting for his return. And that's what you have, from my crazy mind.